Welcome back to the channel. My name's Geek. This is Geek Provisions. Today I'm talking about Cardfest, specifically last year's Cardfest. Now I'm going to have some footage from last year, maybe in between and over the top of this video. But essentially what the situation is. You're seeing this the day before Bandai Cardfest in Europe, Dusseldorf, Germany to be exact. I will be on my way at stupid o'clock in the morning, tomorrow morning. I think I leave at like 2:30 or something in the morning. Crazy. But I thought I need to get this video out. I need to highlight some of the things that made last year so meh. For me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. Whether this was just in Utrecht or all the other ones, I'm sure we all had similar problems. But I also want to highlight the good. And I want to highlight what I think could be improved by Bandai and what I think I could have done a little bit better. Because I'm sure I made some mistakes. In fact, I did, and I've already rectified them. Let's get into the video. Now, as I said, last year for me in Utrecht was a little bit meh. Now, I say meh, that doesn't mean that I didn't have a good time. The good times that I had were like super fun and like up there. But the lows were just like, oh. And I think we'll start with the lows because then like I've only just got over this. It's taken me a whole year to sort of get it out of my head. I didn't even make a video on Utrecht, I don't think, because I was so like fucked off with it. But it's been a year, it's behind me. But let's bring it up for a bit. Essentially, one of the biggest problems I think I had was how much money that trip cost me. Now again, this is where I think some of the problems are me, or most of the problems are me. At the end of the day, you're flying, unless you live in the country or the city that is being held, you are going to travel. You're most likely getting a plane or a very long train, and that costs money. I think my flights were 150 or something like that, both ways, which is fine. I think that was the one amount of money where I was like, okay, I can't really change that whatever I do. There's no factors. I mean, booking in advance enough I think is about the only thing you can do. Other than that, you just got to accept that that's the money that you're going to pay. Where I could have saved a lot of money, and I don't know if this was because it was in Utrecht, maybe in another city it would have been easier, but my God, trying to find somewhere to stay that didn't cost like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I ended up having to sleep in, it was a place called, forgive me, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a pod hotel. So I had my little pod, crawled up into this like meter box. At first I thought, oh yeah, it's cool, it looks really trendy, it's got like a bar downstairs, like the place looks really cool. And then I just remember getting into it on the first night. I could hear just people talking and like drinking in their pods till like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was like hostel vibes. Like, this was not, I should have thought that, but it was not the vibe that I got from like the pictures and everyone that was there. Like, you can just hear people farting and burping and like doing whatever. That was like one of the worst points of it for me. So I think getting your accommodation booked nice and early before places start to get booked up and busy. Find a nice cheap hotel. I think even if you have to go a little bit further out and travel in to get it cheaper, that might be worth it for you. If you're loaded, go and get the closest one you can. Whatever money, nice and comfortable, your own room, or share with your mates, keep the cost down. Obviously, if you're going with a bunch of people, it's easy. You go and get a Airbnb or whatever it is. Some of you sleep on the floor, some of you sleep on the couch, couple rooms. Like you can have like, I don't know, 10 of you in a house and pay absolutely nothing. If you're going with a bunch of mates, great. If you're Billy No Mates like me and you went on your own, I'm telling you, man, book that shit early. So that was like point number one. The money that I spent on travel and accommodation was insane. Because that pod wasn't cheap. I think it was like, I don't even want to repeat. It was bad. Also, in fact, on top of like just the flight, I think I remember just like getting to the airport, I got like a bus, 2 trains, like got the train to Amsterdam, then I had to, got the plane to Amsterdam, then had to get a train from Amsterdam to Utrecht, and that like it was just a nightmare. So figure out your routes, plan accordingly, and get your timings right, man, because mine was a bit of a mess. Now, those 2 things, my fault, okay? So those are the things that I will and have improved. Like, I think already for this trip, I would have only spent like 200 all in flights, accommodation, but at the last minute, they've changed my flight. No, not last minute, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. They changed my flight from like 10 to 6 in the morning, which means I now have to spend £70 to get a cab to the airport instead of just getting the train like I normally would. But it's fine. I'm not counting that into this because it would have been fine. We're still up from last year. Another huge thing that made Cardfest just a little bit shit for me was, again, maybe this is something that was a bit my problem and a bit their problem. I think I had my expectations way too high. I think like seeing videos of what Nats and Worlds are like in other TCG, maybe ones that have been going a lot longer than ours, I was expecting to get there, walk into this sort of, I don't know if you know the XL Centre in London, but like that sort of huge, like showroom style building with like decorations and like loads of like one piece banners and like loads of things to see. When I tell you, I walked into the room and it just looked like a big empty warehouse full of people. I thought I'd walked into the wrong place. I thought I've walked into like an aircraft hangar by accident. Hopefully you're seeing some videos of what it is, what it was like now. But I was like, if you could feel the way I felt when I walked in there, just like, oh my God, this is such a letdown. Again, half my fault. My expectations were high. Half whoever organised that event, because oh my God, it looked bare. And I think what also made it even worse was like the little things that they did do were so minimal that it almost looked worse. Like there was a couple places where you could take photos. Like I think one of them was you were like standing in a border. I can't remember. You're seeing it, so it doesn't matter. You're seeing it. And you could like take a picture. It was like a wanted poster or something like that. But it's like just this one thing in this enormous warehouse room, which just made it look even more pathetic. Like you didn't even try. You honestly didn't even try. So there was that initial feeling of walking into the room and just going, oh wow, this is horrendous. Like if they had at least done the very front where you walk in, like done it up, maybe like put like a nice, just like a little nice thing that you walk under and in, and then when you get to the other side, it's a bit bare, you'd maybe be a bit forgiving. But you literally walk through these double doors just into the most empty space ever. Everything else is like pushed to the back of the walls, as there's not really anything in the middle. Which I also understand, there's a lot of people there. You don't want to congest. You don't want to make hazards, like health and safety issues. I understand that, but Jesus Christ, it was bad. Like there was one corner of the room where they had a bit of a like showcase of some cards. Like I don't know if you've been to any of the One Piece stores. They'll have like the mangas and some of the set in a like behind a closed case in a like a picture frame sort of thing. They had a few of those there for each of the games. Battle Saga, Digimon, One Piece. Was there another one? No. In America, you would have had Union Arena. We don't have that. But yeah, it was dire, man. It was dire. And then, so it was almost like two warehouses connected. So there was that front bit, and then there was another back bit where everyone was playing, which, again, it just looked real bad. It was like a glorified locals. Like, in fact, my locals, big up Brotherhood Games, it just looks a million times nicer, as it should. But like, yeah, it was just tables and chairs. It was locals vibes, but on a bigger scale. And in my head, I was just like, this is whack. Like, why have I flown all this way? And bear in mind, so I wasn't competing in the big tournament. I came to do side events, film a bit of content, have a bit of fun, meet some people, which will be another point. But yeah, this was just, it really knocked it out of me for that first like couple of hours, man. And I think that is where my negatives mostly end. But I think they're two very important things. Like, you spend a lot of money to go there. You want to have a certain level of like, whoa, this looks amazing, or like, what's the point? But that is mostly it for the negatives. Now, the positives, did they outweigh the negatives? For me personally, no, not that time, because my expectations were so high. But the positives they were great, man. Like, firstly, meeting people, and I think this is whether you're a content creator and people might recognize you or not, you're going to meet people, you're going to talk to people in between games, during games. Maybe a little less if you're in the more competitive side. I think you'll probably do a little bit less talking, but in between rounds, you're going to talk to people. You're going to talk to people from different parts of the world, different parts of the country, different accents, different everything, which is amazing and what we should always strive to do as human beings. But yeah, I met loads of people, man. I'm one that finds it very hard to not talk during games. I hope that's not too annoying to people, but I love to have a chat, because at the end of the day, it's why I like to go to locals. It's why I like to be in this space. Also, the way my brain works, it's very hard to keep this mouth shut. But yeah, I met tons of people. I met people that I had like known from online, and then met in person. Big up Quicksand TCG and his friend Daniel. I spent a lot of time with them there, and they honestly made what could have been a really like crap and depressing trip way more enjoyable. So big up them. And I spoke to so many people in between rounds, people that I didn't know, people that didn't know me, just like making little friends here and there, which for me, again, is very important. So that was amazing. And there's literally thousands of people there. So even if you don't like everyone, you'll find someone. Now, I'm doing this very off the cuff. I'm not reading any scripts. I haven't really like planned this. There was another major negative that I completely forgot about till just now. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. And this was maybe even more annoying than the money I spent. Money comes and goes, it's whatever. The organisation of this event was so bad. And just before I'd say anything else, judges not included in this. I'm not talking about you. Judges were amazing. They tried to help wherever possible. Big up the judges. Thank you. You are excuse yourself from this conversation. Nobody could tell me anything. No one could give me any information about anything that I asked. Didn't know where things were. And again, this doesn't mean it was everyone. It just means it's the specific people that I spoke to couldn't tell me anything. The people at the desks in the middle, the other staff at other sections that were meant to be able to give me information couldn't give me information. There was a complete lack of signage for anything anywhere. Now, for me, as someone who used to run events, I used to run music events, things like that, like the less that you have to do and say to people who have questions, the better. Like, the more information that you can put out there to stop having to have so many people ask you questions, the better it is for you. Now, there was just constantly queues of people having questions to ask that, like, had the staff in a bit of a, like, like, just panicking. Like, people going to ask other people and, like, running back and forth, just like, hold on, wait a second, oh, no. Which I also understand. Having, like, 1,000 people frustrated and asking you a bunch of questions is probably going to do that to you. But the lack of information just around probably didn't help that. Like, if it was me, I would have had, like, a big screen like you would at a sports event or something that you could have information on and just say, for this, we'll be at this time, over here. Like, just basic shit like that. And there just wasn't any of that. And there was things like side events overlapping. Like, I think I lost a bunch of money on side events that I was told. I specifically said, are they going to overlap? Am I going to be able to play both? And they're like, yeah, no problems, fine. Obviously they overlapped. Obviously I didn't get to play the other one, which is rubbish because that's what I went there to do. But yeah, just I'm not going to bang on about that too much, but just the general level of organisation just felt tragic. So that was the other point. Bear that in mind. Try and do as much prep for that day as you can. Maybe try and get information from other people that look like they know what's going on. I don't know if you can hear that. Right, enough of that. Done the negatives again until I think of another one. Another positive though. And it's one for. I think it's more positive for others than it is for me. I think because, well, at that time it was very easy for me to get most product that I wanted. I think OP09 had just released. I think it was pretty easy to get OP09. Pretty much every other set. We weren't really in this current problem that we're in, which I'm not going to go too much into because that's for another video. But yeah, you could buy booster boxes, like pretty much, I think all of them except OP01, possibly. Can't remember, but you could basically get everything that you should have been able to get. Starter decks, exclusive merch, sleeves. I don't think there was a playmat at that one. I could be wrong. But that sort of stuff. Premium card collections. I think last year was one of my favourite ones we've had, actually. It was the Black Brothers leaders and the starter decks. So Croc, Kid and Kaido. With all the like gold lettering and foiling. Absolutely love that one. What else did we get? Yeah, just cool stuff, man. Cool stuff to buy that maybe you wouldn't normally be able to buy, and especially for like more local people. Like maybe you're in a place where you can't really get product. Like you'll definitely be able to get something there, which is pretty cool. Again, not the most important thing to me. It doesn't really bump up any of the negatives, but it's pretty cool. This year, there's a few more things because we've got Gundam, obviously. They did actually do the beta of Gundam at that, which I fucking missed, which I was so annoyed about. Luckily, I got to do the beta when they did it here. Haven't really picked up or kicked on with it since. I think they're having just as much struggle with getting product as we are for One Piece, so I think I'm staying away for a bit. But yeah, that was cool. I saw someone pull the like really sick rainbow wing Gundam. I might have footage of that here. I'll lay it over the top if I do. But yeah, just to sum it up, it wasn't the best experience I've had, especially where I've had to spend that much money. My improvements and what I want to see tomorrow. Bear in mind, I'm going tomorrow. Ooh. So I think general aesthetics of wherever it is need to be so much higher. Like, I want to see fucking blow up Gear 5 Luffy. I want to see things hanging from the rafters. You know, I don't just want to see empty warehouse building walls. That's not what I'm paying to fly to Dusseldorf for. Sorry if I'm butchering that pronunciation, my German comrades. But yeah, general aesthetics need to be kicked up a notch. I want nice backdrops, you know. I want things that I can take pictures in front of and be like, oh my god, did you see that? Oh, hey, meet me by the Gear 5 Luffy. And it will just make it more, I think for people that come as just spectators, I think they need a lot more. Like, I know that it's very, very heavily player based. I'm a player, I understand it. But I think for people who just want to come for the day, there's really nothing for you. And I think for it to be called Bandai Cardfest, fest as in festival, there is absolutely fuck all that makes it a festival. Like, when I think festival, I think music, I think things to see, and there was no it was very like So yeah, more fest, make it more festive. That would be my number one improvement for them. Organisation, get your shit together, Bandai. You need to be having briefings, get everyone on the same bloody page. I'm sure things will go wrong. If it can go wrong, it probably will. That's usually my sort of mantra as a manager, organizer. Yeah? So you need contingencies and things in place for when these things go wrong, and have everyone on the same page when it comes to what's going on. And two, the thing that I'm improving is I'm having my expectations lowered. I've been there once. I understand what it's all about now. I'm understanding your message, Bandai. And I completely understand there could be many reasons for why it was the way it was. And maybe reasons I'm not understanding, which is why I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you, Bandai. But I want more. So like it could be anything from that they just don't have the money for it. Maybe the revenue's not quite there yet to put on events to the scale that maybe Pokemon do, which I understand. But look what's happening to the game right now. You need to give us something, like the OGs, the players, the real fans. You need to give us something. Because right now, the people that are doing the people that are eating good ain't us. So do better. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you guys if you're out there. If you see me, come say hello. Unless I'm like this, which I probably will be because I have to wake up at about 2 in the morning. But yeah, come say hi. Obviously, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Have you been to a Cardfest? Do you plan on going to a Cardfest? Has what I said put you off? Or is what I described it as exactly as you predicted? And am I overreacting and being a baby? It's very possible. But yeah, hopefully the next video will be me at Cardfest. Having a great time. I'll catch you on the next one in a bit. Peace.